Good afternoon, Kansas City, and welcome to Changing Narratives with Brother Jay. Today, we're joined by a brother who represents excellence, entrepreneurship, and community, Mr. George Forte III. George is the president of Jet Life Management, born and raised right here in Kansas City, but now doing big things out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He's back home today for something special. He's giving back. George is teamed up with Walter Edwin, also known as the Popper, for a community food drive that is actually happening right now at IMKC Clothing Company inside Ward Parkway. So they've been collecting food from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. today, November 22nd. And so, you know, just proud of the work that they're doing for Kansas City families during this holiday season. And we're honored to have you on the show today to talk about your journey, your work, and why giving back to your city is important. So welcome to the program, Brother Forte.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you siding through.
Yes.
So, you know, before we jump into your journey, I want to talk about what you guys are doing today here at IMKC out at Ward Parkway, the food drive that's going on, and just kind of, is this going to be an annual thing, and how folks can contribute?
Right. Today, I wanted to team up with the Popper. Popper was already doing the food drive for the last couple of weeks, but he, you know, with his status and the little status that I have, the influence in Kansas City, we wanted to do it together and team up and just give back. And one of the reasons of giving back, because we know with the SNAP program being snatched from a lot of families, we wanted to make sure that people have a good Thanksgiving and being blessed. So I've been blessed in my life to be able to do a lot of things and within my endeavors. So I wanted to give back and just make sure that where I'm from and my community gets to eat and make sure that, you know, nobody is starving. So
right, that's awesome, because like you said, the importance of giving back to the community that raised you.
Right.
And so for folks that want to make a contribution, like you said, we know you're going to be at the store until 6 p.m.
Yes.
But is this a whole weekend thing, or how can folks continue to
You still can come
contribute?
up here and still donate food even after 6 p.m. We actually stop them, but you still can donate food. We still gonna collect it. We giving away to different pantries and harvesters and different organizations just to make sure the families eat.
Okay.
As far as annually thing, I would love for it to be an annually thing now, you know, because I like to see people and a lot of people from the community come up and we've been getting a lot since 10 a.m. this morning. We've been getting food. You know, whether it's you bring one canned good or you bring a whole pallet full of stuff, you know, we blessed to get anything. And I tell people every day, people's been asking me all day, has it been successful? Listen, if we get one canned good or get 50,000 canned goods, it's been a success.
Absolutely, because like you said, you're helping, whether 1 or 100,
yes,
you know, helping is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, like I said, we're definitely appreciative of the work. And anytime you have something like this going on for the community, that's what Changing Narratives is for.
Right.
You always have a place here to come and talk to us about it.
Right.
And so having said that, we definitely want to jump into your journey.
Let's get it.
I want to educate my audience on the KC legend that we have sitting here, because, you know, real talk, I think it's important for folks to get recognized when you are a trailblazer somewhat. When we talk about Kansas City and making a name in the industry, there had to be those folks that, you know, went out there and cleared the land for those that were going to come behind them. And so I want to talk to you. So often when folks talk about the entertainment industry, they want to be in front of the camera. Or they want to be on stage. But from the genesis, from what I've learned, you were kind of the manager in the background. So when your brother started his rap group, Too Young to Be True, what was it in you that was like, look, I don't necessarily want to be on stage, but I want to make sure that you guys are successful and negotiate that business part.
Right. So when it came to Too Young to Be True, my uncle actually was one who started that group. He was actually the manager of the group, and I became the road manager. And I ain't gonna say, because I was in high school, I kind of wanted to be on stage with him.
Right. Okay, you did. Okay, that was your initial.
But it was so the group consists of 4 guys. It was my 3 cousins and my brother, my cousin Lily, my cousin Nigel, and my cousin Marty, and then my brother Wesley. Back in those days, you had had the crisscross and the ABCs back in the day. So that was the time, the era. And what they did was my uncle was always into music. He DJ'd and stuff like that. So he formed the group, and then I became their assistant manager, and I helped. And I ain't gonna lie, I had one song that gave me 16.
So you did drop a 16.
I dropped 16 on them. You know, I was 16, 17 years old, and which today, the assistant manager will be more of your role manager. So I was with the group all the time. So when my uncle wasn't there, he was negotiating whatever deal he had. I was one on the road with them. And back then, we would carry our own equipment. We would go to different high schools and elementaries and whatever. And we were blessed to be able, because we got on Tech Nine's radar when he was with Nut House back in the day, and Icy Rock and Dino Mac and the whole group of Flack. And then Nigel, older sister name was Agony, which is our cousin. You know, Agony was part of No House. You know what I'm
actual
saying?
cousin, play cousin thing.
So Agony's dad and my mama, brother and sister. So so Agony was part of Nut House, and so we was blessed to open up for Tech.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, so it became that the situation. So, you know, time went on, you know, everybody grows up, you know what I'm saying? The group, they got older, you know, and then I went to college, and I really kind of left the music industry at that point. Went to school, and then I started promoting, and went back in those days, and back in like 1996, I had my two friends, my good friend Edward Lamont and Chris Evans, who does the King. T-shirt King, who actually prints everything for IMKC.
Yes,
you know what
absolutely, yes.
So
that connected tissue.
Yeah. So me, Chris, and Eddie, we opened up a party, started doing parties at this club called Broncos back in the day.
Broncos. For the older audience, I know y'all know that name.
So we did that. So we became party promoters, and then I just kind of stuck with it, and then. Well, me and Walter ties is because me and Walter went to CMSU together, which is UCM. All the new people, UCM, but CMSU was for us.
Just Warrensburg.
Yeah, Warrensburg, Missouri.
The Berg.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Walt hung out a lot in Warrensburg. You know, we was both in college together. And then I started working with Paradise Clothing Company. And when Paradise was doing their thing, shout out to Icy Cambridge, God rest his soul, he was the one that brought me to Paradise, you know what I'm saying? Because they had formed this Paradise Clothing Company, and
you were, so as far as your involvement with Paradise, were you like in front of the camera doing any kind of modeling of this stuff, or were you on the back end kind of helping connect them with folks?
I started off doing a little bit of modeling with them, you know what I'm saying, taking photos with them and stuff like that. And Heath Porter was the president, owner of it. Ossie was the owner as well, co-owner. And then I helped start promoting.
Right.
Yes.
And I kind of want to back up to the promoting part and how that prepared you for what you ended up evolving into in terms of management in the record industry. So talk to us about promoting in Kansas City and how that provided a foundation for you and what you learned from that you used later on as you navigated with Cash Money and working with larger industry titans.
So what I did was, because I was still wet behind the ear when it came to promotion, I knew how to throw a party, but I didn't know how to promote like a product. So Walt was the one who taught me how to street promote and how to really get a product to the masses. You know what I'm saying? He took me under his wing, and he the one that really taught me, listen, because I used to go on 63rd with him and Fresh and just watch them and kind of, and he, like I said, he took me under his wing and just like, listen, we're gonna get out here, we're gonna get whatever you got going on to the masses, which was the masses. The product at the time was Paradise Clothing Company. So, you know, we had hats, t-shirts, jerseys, or whatever it was. And then we took that and went to the Magic Show in Las Vegas and set up a booth and was able to get it out there. So I had created a team because I was over I was the director of the marketing and promotion for Paradise. I grabbed the team and took them to Las Vegas with us and Magic, and then I had my team circulating the Magic convention and making sure that everything was taken care of. Go see our booth, because that was where the buyers go buy clothes at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the Magic Convention is huge.
Yeah,
There's so much going on around that weekend. If you wanted to talk about a freaknik for that industry, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. And so,
I mean, and you're talking about big clothing lines like Willie Esco at the time. You're talking about FUBU. You know what I'm saying? In their prime.
Okay. No, you could.
You talking about football at the time. You talking about even Rockaway at the time. They was just beginning to bring the clothes out. Sean John, any of those. This is where all those companies would be at the Magic Convention with a booth.
Right.
And the way the Magic was set up back then is I don't know exactly. Magic Convention still happens.
Yeah.
But the way back then is whoever had the elaborate booth, that's where everybody wanted to go.
Attention.
Yeah, because you had different rappers and celebrities that would be at these booths.
Right.
Saying FUBU always came with it. You know what I'm saying? They always, and they had LL and they had everybody that was always at the booth, DJs. And so we took that model and created our situation, and this is where the Travis O'Gwen come in at.
Yeah, and before we get to that connection, I do want to ask, just because I'm always curious about the perception of Kansas City, whether it be the music scene or whatever, when you're at a convention like Magic, what is that like? What was it like back then? It was like, are you from Kansas? Did they, was there a perception? What do y'all know about hip hop? What y'all should be talking about jazz. What was it like?
We're always overlooked. We're always overlooked, and the reason because people that haven't been here, not from here, always have this perception of that. Excuse me, that people.
Hold on, just 1 second. We're having some sound issues. Do we? Okay. So I'm sorry. Go back.
So they always had a perception that, number one, we from Kansas. Like, there's no state of Missouri at all.
Right.
It's just the state of Kansas. And number one, it's nothing because they think of Dorothy and they think it's nothing but cows and sticks here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there you see some people that's from Kansas City and from Missouri or from Kansas, and you be like, yo, we just as much of a city as the next city. You know what I'm saying? So you always have to give people the perspective of what it is, and you still have that still to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people still, and now, because of what the Chiefs are doing and the Royals have been doing, even what Tech is doing, people understand, okay, that's the city. Let me go check and see what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? What the city got going on. And still to this day, like, I live in Las Vegas, and people say, so you going to Kansas? And I get that from people who's from St. Louis.
That's right.
Like, you going to Kansas? I'll be like,
we in the same state.
We from the same state. You just on the east side of the state, I'm from the west side of the state.
Right.
That's it. We from Missouri. So but no, shout out to Kansas and Missouri, but
But like you said, you're still overcoming those kind of perceptions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I definitely want to go back and talk about the Tech and that Travis connection and how your role in that evolution, because I think that, like you said, when you talk about an independent movement, Strange Music is that blueprint. When I moved to Sacramento in 99, 2000, everybody knew Tech. And it felt like he was more popular there than he was here in Kansas City. And so, he was definitely an example of that grind. So talk to us about, your relationship with Tech and how that evolved with him and Travis.
So again, like I was saying early on, when I was 16, 17 years old, I was around Tech because the group used to open up for Tech. And my cousin Agony was part of Nut House. So Agony and Tech had a child together, which is their son Dantes. So now Tech becomes family. And with that being said, I always had a connection with Tech because we always had that relationship. Moving forward, Travis O'Gwen ended up funding Paradise. He was the money behind Paradise. So Travis became my friend through Paradise, and me and Travis hung out all the time. And Travis used to come, so when we talk about Magic Convention, Travis was the money behind Paradise and the Magic. Kid,
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I used to go to Vegas with Travis all the time, and just like I was around Travis all the time, to the point where I was in Travis's wedding as a groomsman.
Oh wow. Okay. So that's real friendship. Like you said, that's not just
like,
somebody
so when
you
Travis,
hanging
who
with.
was still married to his wife Dawn, I stood up with him when he got married. You know what I'm saying?
That's big.
So me and Travis was on a road trip with Heath. We was going to Tennessee. We was going to Hank Williams Jr.'s barbecue for not Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, for 4th of July. And Travis knew I had the relationship with Tech, and the reason why he knew I had the relationship with Tech because there was this fashion show that was going on at Barney Allen's Plaza one year, and Paradise was part of the Barney Allen's Plaza, but they wanted Tech because Tech was with the Road Dogs and they had Let's Get Crunked Up.
Oh yeah,
time,
yeah,
you know
that was
what I'm saying?
97, 98, yeah.
So they wanted me to go because they knew that I had the relationship with Tech, so they wanted me to go get Tech, and so we met at Don Juan's house. And I seen Tech, and we hadn't seen each other probably in a few years or whatever. And we got back, and I actually got Tech into the Paradise Clothing, and he did that show. So Tech talks about that in his podcast or his interviews a lot about the fashion show. So that's the fashion. So that's how he got into the fashion show.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and that was the really kind of the origin of them getting together.
So going back to when we went to Tennessee, we had to. Travis wanted me to really he wanted to know why Tech wasn't to the masses. You know, Tech was always known in California, whether it was the Bay Area or you talk about the LA area, Southern California, San Diego,
Utah, on the West Coast.
Anything Tech. I mean, Tech is gonna sell out on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure he's selling out everywhere now. But we talking about in the late '90s, he was definitely known in LA and stuff like that. So we was on that trip, and Trav said, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? My nickname is 40, so everybody called me 40. So he was like, 40, why don't you go get Tech for me?" So I said, okay, cool. So I went. We got back home from the trip, and I went to Tech, and Tech told me no. He wasn't messing with Travis. But the reason why he wasn't messing with Travis because he already was locked in with Diamond Shields. God rest his soul, it's my guy. You know, miss that guy. He was locked in with Diamond Shields, with Midwest Side. You know what I'm saying? And so he was good at the time, and I still think he had some QD3 dealings or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then I told Travis, he was like, nah, he cool. So Travis is a money guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Travis threw some numbers out there, and I
made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
he made him an offer, but again, I went to Tech again, and Tech was like, nah. And then I think the third or the fourth time, I finally went to Tech, and Tech was married to his ex-wife. I knew her because we grew up together.
Okay.
Now, I would say this, and I even Tech know I said this. I don't know if they were going through any financial issues or whatever, but I think they might have had. But at this point, we had that became, all right, let's go have this conversation with Travis.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so I went and got picked Tech up from his house, you know what I'm saying? So he got two girls and a son, and they little at the time. And I said, let's go to Travis's house. Travis lived in Blue Springs. So then I grabbed Tech, and I took Tech to Travis's house. And up there in Travis's house, that's where Strange Music came from.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That conversation in that meeting, and Travis gave him a number, and there was a number he couldn't refuse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we all, so I would tell people to this day, Strange Music was started between myself, T-Will from the Road Dogs, Travis, and Tech.
That is awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's some history for Kansas City, and like you said, everything has an origin story, and sometimes that gets lost in the mix. But you know, that's what Changing Narrative is about: is bringing and highlighting the truth to these types of situations. So man, you know, like I said, a legend here from Kansas City, involved in so many different things, and like you said, you moved through the industry, work with Cash Money. So talk to us about what you're doing right now.
What I'm doing right now is I live in Las Vegas, and I own businesses with my wife, And a lot of people know me now as Floyd Mayweather's brother-in-law.
Right,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying? So I'm married to Floyd Mayweather's older sister, and me and my wife, we just team up, and we just got several different businesses. Even though we do, you know, we just entrepreneurship and just grind. We grind it out, man. Trying to build an empire of ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's up. And you know, and like I said, for somebody who came from humble beginnings, and I always like to tell the story of the people behind the camera, or the people who are behind the contracts, because often that's where the work is done. You know, we see the finished product, but it's the folks that do the work behind the scenes that interest me. So glad to sit down and have this conversation. So before we get wrapped up, anything you want to share with our audience, because the one thing about it, we definitely gonna have a longer conversation. I think there's more to tell. Gotta get your take on Kansas City's top 5. We gotta have that hip hop conversation for real.
Here you go. But
before we get up out of here today, anything you want to share with our audience?
Man, stay blessed, stay humble. You know what I'm saying? Give back. I've been blessed to be born and raised right here in Kansas City. I always take KC to heart. Where I go, I'm shouting out KC, and people throughout the industry know I'm always going to shout out KC. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure that people love the Chiefs, people love the Royals, and listen, I represent KC to the fullest. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
and we appreciate that. Thank you for coming through here on Changing Narratives. Like I said, you're always welcome. Anything that you're working on going forward, and we'll definitely catch back up.
Okay, appreciate it.
Peace.
All right.
All right.